Hey guys, it's Sid with svtperformance.com here, and I've got a 2020 Ford Ranger Crew Cab FX4 that is very, very red. Has a black appearance package on it as well. I just wanted to give you guys a quick walk around and some of the pluses and minuses that I found after having this truck for about a week. Took it on a nice road trip down to Florida, and actually pretty impressed with it. The more I drive the Ranger, the more I like it. These trucks are really the truckiest of trucks that I say that Ford has. They feel just like an old school truck to me, and I really like that. The suspension's nice and firm, but not overly harsh. They're nimble. Just remind me of like the old PN96 F-150s quite a bit, which, you know, I love those things. But let's get into the pluses and minuses on this truck. For number one, things that I really like, I think these might actually be the best headlights of any new Ford. They are super bright, and unlike a lot of things on the newer trucks, they're appropriately sized. If you look at the new Super Duty and F-150, the headlights are freaking enormous on those. But this, I think, fits very nicely in with the styling of the truck, and it actually reminds me of the old PN96 F-Series trucks. So I really like those headlights. But on the downside, the taillights are freaking enormous. I think they're oversized for this size truck. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous looking. You know, that's a nitpicky thing, but it's funny how they got the headlights, in my opinion, perfect, and the taillights are just a bit oversized. But also in the plus column, show this off to you here, is the engine. This has the 2.3 liter EcoBoost. It's the same engine that the Ranger's had since introduction. Haven't really made any changes. You can hear it ticking along there. Almost sounds like a little diesel, and it performs like a little diesel. It has great torque, gets pretty good fuel economy. We were seeing between 21 and 22 miles per gallon running Interstate 95 speeds, so that's solid. I like the little air scoop built into the front here, like we've mentioned in other videos. Ford's done a really good job of working on their cold air intake systems, or factory air intake systems. And this one's a good example of it, getting nice cool air from outside. Like we've showed you before, these trucks actually have a little EGR cooler on them to meet emissions. And your blow-off valve is right here on top and easy to get to if you want to upgrade that and make little whooshy noises. So I really like the 2.3 in this truck, but unfortunately, this thing may have the worst transmission tuning I've felt on any 10R80 equipped vehicle. It's just soft and slow. It has some weird clunks in it, especially when it's cold. If you go from park to reverse, it clunks into reverse pretty tough. And the 1-2 shift, it will buck on that. On the first 1-2 shift when it's cold. It's just weird. I don't know what's up with that. Ford's had the transmission for quite a few years, and this is the only vehicle I've drove with the 10R80 that has that issue. I don't know. Just one of those things. Maybe they'll update it. Even the 2019 Ranger we tested a year or so ago didn't do that. So something's changed. Hopefully they fix it. But other than that, the drivetrain is rock solid. In the positive column though, the Sync 3 system and the stereo. This thing has an awesome stereo. It's got the B&O system on it. And the Sync 3, especially for hands-free talking, is the best I've experienced in any vehicle, not just any Ford, but any vehicle. It is crystal clear. iPhone to iPhone conversations, you know, your mileage may vary if you're talking on a landline or something else, but iPhone to iPhone, I mean, it's just super, super clear on both ends. So that's a huge plus to me. Like we mentioned before, ride, handling, comfort, the Ranger does very, very nicely. These seats, I could use a little bit more side bolstering, both the seat cushion and the back on a long trip, but I mean, they were comfortable. Drove 9 hours straight, didn't really have any issue. And like we mentioned before, love the ride and handling. The brakes also are fantastic. They stock very, very well, and linear. And I like that the Ranger has rear discs. That's nice. A lot of even full-size trucks from some of the other manufacturers don't have the rear discs, but you know, even the base model Ford's smallest truck does. Another thing though that I didn't like, it's two things actually. I think this is one of the goofiest things I've seen on any new Ford vehicle, is this keypad. This is, you can tell this was just stuck on for the American market. This thing looks terrible. It's completely out of place. It does not match anything else on this truck. But because, you know, they needed to add it for the American market, they just stuck that on there. That's just goofy looking. Also, am not a fan of no manual transmission option. I get it that they just wanted to make it as simple as possible with no option, because believe it or not, it costs money just to have an option, not just to have the transmissions by themselves. You know, an automatic obviously costs more to produce than a manual, but having the standalone option also costs Ford money. So I hate that, but it is what it is. Maybe with the next update they give the Ranger, it'll get the manual transmission from the Bronco. We can hope. They're sort of built on the same platform, so, or a version of the same platform, so hopefully we can get that. Also, am not a fan of these running boards. I think they are just stupid. They stick out so much from the door that if you're over, I don't know, 5 feet tall, you don't need them to get into this truck. It's not that tall, and it's not even that much of a help. I mean, this is maybe 6 inches from the door sill to that. And my problem is, every time, you know, I don't use them to get in, so every time I get in a truck, I want to drag my pants leg across it and get your pants leg dirty. So I would just take these things off. They just not a good fit for this, but you know, that's a minor gripe. One last minor gripe: I'm not a huge fan of the steering wheel and gauges. It looks like something out of, I don't know, a Ford Edge. The gauges look almost identical to what's in the Ford Edge, and Ford does so much better with so many newer vehicles. So the new F-150, the Mustangs with a full digital dash, all that looks so much better, especially the steering wheel. It's sad to know that they could do better. So hopefully, like I said, once they get an update, we'll get a new steering wheel, new gauge cluster, things like that. Other than that, the interior is pretty nice for a small, you know, somewhat inexpensive truck. True, you got some hard plastic here, but the places where you touch is all nice soft touch materials. I like the dash with the stitching on it, vinyl wrap. That's very nice. It's very nice and utilitarian. Would be very useful, you know, as a daily driver or a work truck, something like that, if you don't need to tow super heavy loads. Even though this thing has a decent towing capacity, but I really like that. The size makes it very easy to live with on a daily basis. It's very maneuverable, so parking lots, things like that, easy to negotiate. Another huge advantage: I washed this thing yesterday and it did not take forever to wash it, unlike a F-150 or a Super Duty or something like that. So that's a nice advantage. The bed's a little smallish, but not too bad. I really like the Ford factory spray and bed liner. That's really, really nice. I would get this on any truck I ordered from Ford. That's an option definitely worth getting. Tailgate is nice. And one last thing, go along with the interior of this truck. Let's show you the back here. I've got a backpack full of camera gear in it. Back seat is useful. It's not super, you know, I've got to see where I have the seat back. I'm about 6 feet tall. So you could actually get an adult human in there if you wanted to. Got USB charging points everywhere on this. Right here, plus, you know, got an AC outlet. That's super nice, especially for me, charging camera equipment. But the one last thing I want to leave you with is, if you live in a northern climate, this thing has the best seat heaters that I have felt in any vehicle, not just any Ford, any vehicle. They get like inferno hot. Like the highest setting is basically too hot. You have to cut it down to at least the second or third setting, you know, something like that, because these things will run you out. I mean, I can't stress that enough. They are super, super hot. But that's pretty much it. I really like the styling. I think the Ranger is a good looking truck. I know a lot of people think it's too soft looking, too foreign truck looking or anything. I really like it. To me, it harkens back to, you know, those 97 to 2003, 4 F-150s, you know, 2004 if you get a Heritage Edition like I have. I think it looks really good. I especially like the blackout package on it that gives you the black grille and black mirror caps. I think that looks really nice. Reminds me a lot of a Sport Track Adrenaline. Can't lie, and I love those things. So overall, I think it's a great looking package. I would totally own this truck. If I had the use for a small truck daily driver, I would definitely shop the Ranger. It's a really nice truck, rides and handles well. Wish I'd got to spend more time with it besides just running on the highway, but hey, it is what it is. Hopefully we get another one in the future, do a little bit more off-roading, things like that. But for now, it gets my seal of approval. And like I said, we've got a full article on this truck and the Rangers in general over on svtperformance.com. The link's in the description below. Please click that, head over. If you have any questions, that's the best way to get them answered, is to post it on SVTP. I check that way more than the YouTube comments. So definitely post it up over there. Join, see what's going on the site. We have all the latest Ford news, reviews, information, everything you want to know about your favorite Ford powered vehicles.